This week on Freshly Cultured with Fresh Fry, Miss Mandi spends some time with a visionary woman.
And please, today, can we not burn any meals?
We'll try. You'll be in charge.
A woman who is changing the landscape of nutrition for the next generation.
I'm optimistic, I am ambitious, and I'm a hard worker, like my name, Wawira.
So join us as we discuss Wawira's favorite dishes growing up in Njiru, her kitchen hacks, and feeding tomorrow's leaders. Right here on Freshly Cultured with Fresh Fry. And Wawira Njiru is a 29-year-old Kenyan entrepreneur and nutritionist who's the founder of Food for Education, an organization that prepares and distributes nutritious meals to children in Kenyan schools as a way to keep them in school and to feed the future.
Now, you've been running Food for Education for a couple of years now. What would you say have been some of your favorite highlights?
Last year we got to launch Tap to Eat, which is our technology that parents contribute using as an orange wristband that kids wear to school. So that was an idea I had for a while. And also in the same year, we got to scale up from 3,000 kids to 10,000 kids a day. So that was also very exciting because parents can be sure, whether you're in Njiru or you're in Dagoretti South, we're starting our third kitchen construction as well.
Which is going to be located where?
In Embakasi. Yeah, so wherever you are, you're assured of the same meal as long as we're in that school, so yeah. We moved into a house that my parents had barely finished, so they were putting in the floor when we were living in there, electricity, water, and things like that. So I always got a sense, even when we were growing up and we ended up getting electricity and getting our fridge and things like that, getting a sense of we were the lucky ones to have basics like that.
Some of her biggest challenges have been getting funding for expansion and the obvious challenges she faces as a young female entrepreneur.
So what have been like some down moments as you do this work?
I mean, down moments are way more than the up moments. The biggest down moment was kind of like getting momentum and getting people to see this as a need. For example, India does school feeding programs for 120 million children. So it's mandated by their constitution. Versus for us, it's a nice thing to do. So we have 1 in 4 kids in Kenya who are stunted because of chronic undernutrition, and that's severe malnutrition. And then also, downsides have been, getting undermined as a woman, as a young person. When you're young, the first reaction of anyone is just like, oh, she's young, she doesn't know anything. But with more time, the more you can prove that you're able to do things. I'm young, so they think you're just doing this as a passion project or it's a short-term thing. You're not in it for the long haul. I mean, now we've done it for a lot of years, so I think there's traction and there's enough track record to be able to show that we've done it. So now there's more, oh, okay, she's actually serious about this. I was at a conference once in LA and I heard this woman, she's the first African-American billionaire, and she was asked what her biggest failures or something like that. And she said she's never failed because everything has been a lesson. So that's how I view mistakes, because if I didn't do it, I wouldn't know any other way of doing things.
In 2010, at the age of 19, Anne made a big move down under to Australia to follow her dream to achieve a degree in nutrition and food science at the University of Adelaide. It was here that her incredible vision began to materialize.
You actually sold to people food back in Australia. So you sold them Kenyan food. In order to raise that money to come back home with. So what was this Kenyan food that you made in order to start up Food for Education?
It was burnt pilau, specialty. It was burnt pilau, chapati, and stew. And it wasn't great, to be honest, but people made it like a potluck, so they brought in like salads and all that stuff. So people would eat like burnt rice and think, oh, Kenyan food is like
Smoky.
Yeah, smoky. Exactly, that's the word.
Yeah.
But it's actually burnt.
Yes.
We raised 125,000 shillings, and then we built like a Mabati kitchen, got a cooker, got our first cook, bought food. So we did a lot with that 125,000 shillings, and tried to start off for 25 children. Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you've learned while you've been like trying to get funding and stuff like that?
I think for young people, we're specifically like disadvantaged. So a lot of times you'll find that older people will get prizes because they're more established. They've built organizations, probably have more systems. They've taken time. Versus young people don't have that at the beginning. Like when we were starting the organization, it was just me and a cook, and I was volunteering and she was being paid. So, we didn't have the structures we have now, like finance structures and all that.
With time, she's proven herself in her commitment to her Food for Education initiative.
I had to take on more responsibilities than I've had. At 19, I moved to Australia. I knew one person on the entire continent. I worked 4 jobs to put myself through university. So there are harder things that I've done, and all of it made me the person I am. But at the same time, I think that any young person, I believe in young people, so I think young people can take on a lot, yeah.
I mean, even to the point where the kids that you feed usually talk back to you. There was a tweet you posted the other day where the kid was like, "Asante kutukumbuka."
Yeah.
And how do those moments make you feel?
I mean, they talk positive and they also talk like, "Oh, why aren't we getting chapati?" So it's not just all pat on the back. So we have good banter. I always ask, is the food good? Because you want to get that feedback. Is it good or is it not good? Is it delicious?
Wawira prides herself in feeding the future and has always been passionate about nutritious food for children.
The kids are always asking for, if they can have fries, they can have sausages. So that's one comment we get a lot in terms of kids wanting treats. So we try putting fruits as treats and things like that.
Okay, so I want to celebrate you today in the best way possible. And I love that you've already hinted that there's a third kitchen on the way. So I think today we can grab some groceries and then go to our kitchen and cook.
Yay, I'm excited.
So are you a fan of avocado?
I love avocados actually. Mine always get overripe because I buy too many and then they get ripe at the same time.
Yeah.
But the kids do love the avocados because they eat them with githeri.
What were some of your favorite childhood foods growing up?
I was very basic. Chips and sausage growing up.
Yeah. And now that you're older, what are some of your faves?
It depends. Seafood. I really like seafood, so I'm very versatile.
Very
what
versatile. I like that. So
yes.
Let's check out more things.
Yeah. Oh, I love these.
So now that we're back in the kitchen, first things first, apron on. And please, today, can we not burn any meals?
We'll try. You'll be in charge. So
I'll be in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be my sous chef.
Yes.
So today we're making brown fried rice and some mushrooms in a balsamic soy sauce. Okay, so we're gonna be using fresh fried garlic oil. It's really good on stir fries, especially because of the fact that the garlic really catches on the flavor onto the rest of the food. So now that I've added in my oil, please pass me the onions. Onions, here you go. So I know you say that technology is so important for you to use it to leverage, to scale up your business. So walk me through Tap for Eat.
So Tap to Eat is technology that we developed that we use NFC mobile money linked to the NFC technology. So NFC is the same as what's on your credit card or your ATM. So parents contribute 15 shillings for lunch, which is a very cheap lunch. I think the cheapest meal in Kenya. First, they register with us. We create a virtual wallet for them. Once they register their child, they get this wristband, like the one I'm wearing. So kids wear it to school. And once they top up the 15 shillings, when the kids line up, they get lunch.
And I know for you that feeding the future has been very important. Is this like something you've been doing even since like earlier back in high school? Did you start doing this from back then?
In high school, I used to volunteer at different things. So for example, I used to go to the Kenyatta Hospital Cancer Center, children's homes. When I was a kid, I went to my mom's fridge, stole food there and gave kids around in the neighborhood, frozen githeri. So they were literally eating frozen githeri. I did an undergrad in nutrition and food sciences. So when I was doing my degrees, when I was learning about the impact of food, I had a great lecturer in school who used to talk about food like it was the most amazing thing in the world. When I went back to Australia, we had coffee and it was really good kind of to talk about what I've been up to. So it's always very nice to hear from her, hear from other teachers. Like I have teachers who reach out to me from primary school and things like that, yeah.
Please pass me the French beans. Speaking of French beans, did you know that you need to blanch them before you cook them?
Oh, what is blanching?
So you like boil the water and it's like really, really hot. Then you put them in and then now you cut them up. The major reason why you need to do this is to retain the color.
Oh, really cool. I didn't know that. I don't cook much, but
you don't? For somebody who's a nutritionist, you don't cook much?
Cooks for like so many kids. Yes, I don't cook much. I am a foodie because I do love good food even for myself, and I want people to eat good food, not just food. And also I just like people, like I want people to be happy and food makes people happy. I want to learn about cooking this, for example, because you said it's very easy and quick.
Yes, it is. So you can pass me the carrots as well. I mean, we've experienced a pandemic. We're still in the midst of it, right?
Yes.
And I just want to know like what has had to change or what have you had to adapt to kind of, keep feeding people, keep feeding the future during these times.
When schools closed, which is the first step that happened during the pandemic, one of the first things we thought, okay, what can we do? And so we started providing food packages to kids and their families. So we provided to right now, around 50,000 people, giving them either cash transfers or food packages. We've been doing that during this COVID-19 period. We've served close to 2 million meals from the food packages. And
2 million?
2 million meals.
That's
just
amazing.
In this pandemic. And then now, because the food packages were quite big, so they would prepare a lot of meals for the families that last them over a month. I think now things are beginning to open up a little bit, but at the same time, is find out what you can do with the constraints that are there. There's always, if you think creatively, there's always, like we had to change our entire technology system. We had to reach families that we hadn't reached before, so they didn't expect us to step up, especially with schools closed. So that's something that has really has kept us going, especially during this time.
Really, I think your work that you're doing, I stay saying this to you, is quite admirable because this means you have to be a people person consistently, right? Because you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with parents, so it requires you to be a people person. Okay, so I want to move on to that side. I feel like you could come do a little stirring on this side, and then you can turn it off. I just wanted to know from you, what do you usually like to add into your fried rice?
I think the soy sauce was really good. The vegetables look amazing. I think a lot of people actually don't know how easy it is. I'm finding out right now how easy it is to make fried rice.
Yes.
Because, that took like 5 minutes.
It really did.
Yeah. So I think this is something that I'll definitely look into cooking more often.
What do you usually cook?
I put stuff in the oven a lot, so that's easy because you can just put stuff in.
Yes.
Roast vegetables. If you're roasting your fish or meats, can I turn it off now?
Yes, you can. What made you choose to even study nutrition?
It was the shortest course.
How long was it?
It was supposed to be 3 years. So I was like, wow, I'll get in and get out in 3 years, because I really knew I was just going to do my degree in Australia.
Yeah.
But it ended up working for the right reasons, because I knew I wanted to do a health degree, but I really just wanted to work with people and make them happy.
And also you are very connected with the Kenyan government, because you, of course, to be able to, for you to achieve opening up more centers, you need to work with them. And how has that relationship been like?
Yeah, I mean, the Kenyan government is our biggest partner in terms of the schools that we work in, our public schools. We just opened a new kitchen that was a partnership between the national government and CDF fund through the Dagoretti South constituency. It's been really an interesting journey, seeing how there's a lot of willingness for things to change. For example, invest in a kitchen for 20,000 children is a really big step for us. Yeah, I think social media has a big role. Like if you look at when we started our first fundraiser, we gathered people on Facebook, and that's how they came. And so it's had a role in terms of building the momentum, building the track record, and creating visibility to the work we do through pictures, through Instagram and different social media platforms.
I saw that you had a Zoom meeting with the Excellency. Or am I going crazy? Because I think I saw you and Adele having a conversation with President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
Maybe you can share with us some insights of the things that you had discussed with him, because I know it was around youth.
Yes, so this was for Generation Unlimited, which is our initiative by the UN, in which President Kenyatta is one of the ambassadors. And it was launching Generation Youth in Kenya. I go into everything as myself. So whether it's with the president, whether it's with, with a parent or a teacher or anyone, you just go in with yourself and you speak your truth. I was speaking from the perspective of, yes, there are really good programs that have been launched, but sometimes the effects are not being felt on the ground. And so we're talking about that disconnect. And he was, he then on the conversation said that the government would do an audit of the initiatives that have been launched and see what is a bottleneck and see how can things be done better. So we're waiting for those results and waiting to see what now the future will be.
Speaking of results, our food is ready.
Oh, nice.
I think we should now serve, head onto the table and continue our conversation.
I'm so excited.
As you can see, I have put for you an elite spread. Elite!
Yay!
And
everything, so good.
Everything has been made with fresh fry. Certain things have been made with the garlic. So of course we have our stir fry here. We have some veggie spring rolls. We have some broccolini that we've tossed in some garlic. And we have the mushroom stems. I'm very big on sustainability. So I just put them through a food processor. And then this is a pineapple chutney, some veggie samosas, our mushrooms, cauliflower that is basically chicken. We're gonna
nice. Thank you.
To
I'm
top
so
it
excited
off,
to try this.
we have some juice as well. It's a lemon, pineapple, ginger juice. So I'm glad that this is a great treat that I'm giving you, mainly because I feel like you're very deserving of this.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is a very good treat and everything looks so delicious. Wow.
So what are some of the plans in 2021 with mentoring, expanding with more locations? What are some of those plans? Can you share that with us?
Yeah, so we're looking to expand to a new location in 2021. People send me business plans, their financials to review that. So I want to continue doing more of that, especially for young women, because I think that young women really face more barriers and it's important to create the space for young women to express, are you having imposter syndrome, or how are you feeling about the work that's in front of you, and also helping young women feel more confident. Yeah. You can have a plan. When you start off, you may not have a very long-term plan because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And then don't be afraid to try and fail, because it's pretty standard to fail, but once in a while you succeed.
Well, I have been waiting for you to describe the food in one word.
Everything is a burst of flavor, so it's very, very flavorful. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not one word, but
It's not one word. I love it. Burst of flavor. So, with the fact that you said everything is a burst of flavor, what did you think of the rice technique? Super easy, taking home
super
the
easy
recipes?
and so flavorful. You know, definitely going to make this, and you have to teach me how to make the chutney. And the rice is very crunchy as well because the veggies were not cooked for too long. So yeah.
Well, I want to say again, thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
And I feel like more and more people need to follow Food for Education. Make sure to donate as well, right? Because the most important thing is that they're feeding the future. Thank you for all the work that you do. It's immensely appreciated.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this amazing spread.
It's for you to take home.
Yay! The meal was so delicious. I'm really excited because also it didn't take so long. So I think it's something that I'm going to be trying at home, and a lot of people can at home as well.
It's safe to say that Wawira's passion to help people goes far beyond the kitchen.
Oh my God, I'm actually going to take it home.